Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dive Spear Eat. I'm here with Ryan Hollingshead. He plays for the LA Football Club. He's here to dive in this general area. But we're excited. We're going to get suited up, head into the water. It's going to be his second time diving?
Yeah.
Awesome, but super stoked. Hopefully we can grab something big. If not, enjoy the water. Let's go.
Let's go.
And here we go, another beautiful day out in the water. It always is when you are. And leading up to this day, I really hope for better visibility conditions because the surf height, winds, and the current were relatively low leading up to this dive. And as you can see here, visibility was not so great. And typically closer to shore in the more dense areas of Kelp, it usually isn't. But throughout the area, it was really not that great. There was a lot of material in the water. And you'll see later what I would consider jellyfish, even though they're technically not. They're called Salp. They were all over the place. But anyway, Ryan and I toughed out through this super dense area of Kelp to get where we needed to go. But before we dive into the video, I did want to mention, if you are planning on going out and you are a newer diver in this dense area of Kelp, it can be intimidating, and it kind of should be. It's really dense and could be a little freaky, and you could get tangled in it for sure. The general rule of thumb is stay relaxed, and if you can, go out with someone that has experience. And I know not everyone has a partner or a dive buddy that has it. Try to go find one, and if you can't, try to stay relaxed, do your homework as best as possible, go on the forums, go on group chats and whatnot, and do your research. But the general rule of thumb, I would say, if you take away anything from this video, is stay calm, stay relaxed, stay smooth as possible. And another question that commonly comes up is, do you go over the kelp or under the kelp when dealing with these really dense kelp forests? And it really depends on your experience level, how dense the kelp is and whatnot. But generally speaking, if you are a newer diver, I would say try to stick to over the kelp, and you want to try to flow over it, not power through, if you get what I'm saying. You want to try to keep a freestyle motion and try to push the kelp under you and then kind of slide over. Try to avoid any large kicks from your fins, smaller kicks, and just try to be fluid over the kelp. And if you are going to dive under, try to figure out what line you're going to take. And before you start diving, push away some kelp. Make a little hole for yourself to dive into, because if you try to dive in straight in without moving the kelp away, it's going to get caught up. You're going to get tangled really easily, and it can get dangerous really fast. So just be really careful out there. The general rule of thumb is try to be fluid and relaxed when going through the kelp forest. And the little organisms you see moving around there are not jellyfish, but in fact salps. And what salps are, they belong to the class of Thalassaceae in the phylum Chordata. They are more closely related to us than jellyfish because they have a central nerve. And you may find them connected to each other, creating these long chains. And these chains can get up to 15 feet long. And possibly most amazing is that these organisms are super crucial to the ocean's health, as they eat a lot of carbon-rich plants and remove carbon from the water. And that wraps up our dive. Overall, had a great time. going out with Ryan. Ryan, this was his first time shore diving, second time spearfishing in general. Did a great job, especially staying calm in that kelp forest and really powering through. Did an awesome job, but visibility was just not that great, and marine life was just not very lively this dive, but nevertheless, always a good time on the water. Here's some general stats. 28 feet was the deepest dive, longest dive was 45 seconds, average depth 11. Probably most of those were battling the kelp. And here's some other stats if you would like. But overall, had a great time. Always a great time on the water. Everyone, we are back out of the water. It was an experience for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of kelp in this particular spot. Surf was actually pretty reasonable, easy, I would say, but the kelp was so dense. We probably went through at least maybe 100 yards, maybe give or take, of just dense kelp. So we were exhausted by the time we got to the end. And on top of that, a lot of stuff in the water. But yeah, how'd you like it, Ryan?
Yeah, getting in, getting out, easier than I thought, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
The kelp was crazy. But anytime you get in the water, it's a good time. So
Oh yeah.
Wish there was a little bit more fish out there, but we'll get them next time.
Yeah, we'll see. But then next time, hopefully, it'll be a lot better, a lot cleaner, and we'll catch some fish. But always a good time in the water.